Hi, let's continue with this application. We were almost done with this problem until my dog decided she wanted to go out, so I had to let her. So let's see. We did these two alternatives here, most aggressive, most conservative, and then a combination between the two of them. And those are the results here. So for the most aggressive, that's 200,000 return, expected return. For the most conservative, less return because you have higher interest rate and lower return. You go more conservative. Then a combination between those two, 150,000 and the other one 100. So now let's assess, let's interpret these results here. Let's see, in D, it says, would you necessarily accept the plan with the highest return? Briefly explain. So out of these four, the highest return would be this one. What does this one involve? Involve the most possible risk. Going most aggressively with investing for the high return, but it's a risky proposition. And short-term financing, but this interest rate can change. It doesn't stay still, the short-term financing. Or any other one. Would you go for this one or accept a little return but kind of reduce risk? Well, in my opinion, if I'm not as much as risk taker as here, but you want to take some level of risk, let's see the next best one would be, what does it mean, this one? You go aggressively in investing for a highest return right here, but you lock in the interest rate risk here. You go on the long-term interest rate borrowing, which means this 12% interest is not going to change on you. And you make less money, but at least you know what you are going to pay to the bank. Is not going to change on you like here. This one, the interest rate can change, so you might have to pay to the bank more if you want to go that route. So this is the one possible explanation here. And let's see if we can work on another application here. A little different, similar, but a little different. 11, it's very similar to 10, so I'm sure you will do more exercise on this one on your own. Let's see if 12. Matching asset mix and financing plans. So we have temporary current assets, 1 million, permanent current assets, 2 million, fixed assets, 1.2 million. So those two here, they are kind of long term, and this one, the first one, is short term. So short-term interest rate is 8%, long-term interest rate is 13%. That corresponds to the red here, to the red assets. Earnings before interest and taxes are 996,000, tax bracket is 40%. If long-term financing is perfectly matched with long-term assets, so that means I borrow long-term for these fixed assets, the red part, and short-term for this one of 8%, then that's the matching. What will the interest after taxes be? Okay, so let's do this calculation. So we have to see how much we apply for each type of assets. So long-term assets, those two added up, they add up to 3,200,000, and we are going to borrow long-term financing for this asset and short-term for the other one. Short-term financing is 1 million here, and we calculate the dollar expense for each of them. Long-term interest expense is assets times 13%, $416,000, and short-term interest 8% at $1,080,000. Total interest expense $496,000. That's going to be an expense subtracted from interest before interest and taxes. Here that's given. Earnings before interest and taxes given in the problem, subtract interest expense, that's left over, earnings before taxes. We apply 40% to this amount, and I'm going to pay up taxes of 200,000. So what's left over is earnings after taxes. This is what the problem asks us. So what I'm going to ask you to do next is just finalize all the other remaining problem solving. from the document without the answers, and then if you have questions or you are not sure, check your answers with the answer key provided.